Herculaneum is about 6 kilometres from Mount Vesuvius and was destroyed in 79 AD by the same eruption that engulfed Pompeii. Only 1/4 of the city has been uncovered, with the modern town of Ercolano sitting on top of the remainder. The city lay buried for centuries in a solid mass of pumice and ash to a depth of 12 to 30 metres. As in Pompeii, the city was laid out on a grid, but Herculaneum's streets lack the stepping stones seen in its larger neighbour. Herculaneum was a smaller, wealthier city than Pompeii, covering about 20 hectares and with 4,000 to 5,000 inhabitants. Instead of the sudden weight of falling ash that crushed roofs and collapsed houses in Pompeii, fast-flowing lava filled Herculaneum from the ground up, supporting walls and roofs as it encased them. This preserved its multi-storied homes, complete with doors and staircases, as well as a wealth of organic material missing in Pompeii. Wooden furniture, textiles, and even foods tell us much about everyday life here, and many vivid frescoes and mosaics remain intact. Herculaneum's main street was the wide Decumanus Maximus. This street contains rectangular limestone water fountains, as well as a triumphal arch. At the eastern end is a large, partially excavated palaestra, an area for recreational and sporting activities. Herculaneum, like Pompeii, has a number of thermopolia, or public dining establishments that served hot food and drinks. It was not customary to have lunch at home. A typical thermopolium had a room opening onto the road with a counter decorated with marble, into which were sunk dolia, or jars which contained dry foods. 2 bakeries, or pistrina, have also been uncovered in Herculaneum. This pistrinum contains 2 flour mills. The central thermae were bathhouses built around the 1st century AD. Bathhouses were very common and popular at that time and acted as a social hub. There were 2 different bath areas, one for men and the other for women. Various rooms can be seen, and the apoditerium, or changing room, in the women's baths contains a fine marine-themed floor mosaic. Nearby, the house of the inn had its own bath complex and palaestra, and is now considered to have been a private house. The house of the relief of Telephus is one of the largest houses in the excavated area. The atrium wall has a copy of a relief depicting an episode from the myth of Telephus. This house has its own private access to the adjoining and well-preserved suburban baths, a multi-storey building which overlooked the sea. On the northern edge of the site, the house of Galba has a cross-shaped pool which might have been used for bathing, or it could have been a reservoir or an ornamental fish pond. Nearby is the house of Argus, which has a large peristyle or courtyard, which is colonnaded on 3 sides. There is also an exedra, or recess, decorated with red panels. The central panel on each wall contains a mythological scene set in an architectural frame. Vivid frescoes are also found in the Hall of the Augustals on the Decumanus Maximus, or main street. It is thought that the building was a centre of the cult of the Emperor Augustus. Hercules appears in this fresco. Also on the Decumanus Maximus is the House of the Black Hall, one of Herculaneum's more luxurious mansions. The centre of the atrium contains a marble-lined impluvium or water tank and a fluted wellhead or puteal. There is also a peristyle with a small garden and mosaic paving. Several rooms open off the peristyle and feature partly vaulted ceilings. They are richly decorated with architectural and geometric motifs. More elaborate floor mosaics can be seen at the house of the mosaic atrium. Floor mosaics and wall decorations also survive in the long, low-ceilinged atrium of the House of the Beautiful courtyard. The atrium also features a very low doorway, which leads to a small kitchen area. This is the House of the Skeleton. It's where human remains were first discovered in 1831. The triclinium or dining room is decorated in reds and orange with architectural and landscape imagery. The house also has a nymphaeum or grotto dedicated to the nymphs. The rear wall of the grotto is decorated with inlaid limestone. Above it is a decorative frieze in which the central three panels are modern copies. There is also a small courtyard which contains a mosaiclararium or shrine. Another nymphaeum can be seen in the garden court of the House of Neptune and Amphitrite. The grotto is surmounted by marble theatrical masks. This area also contains the mosaic after which the house is named, showing Neptune and Amphitrite surrounded by a decorative motif. The house is joined to a well-preserved food and wine shop. The shop contains a large number of amphorae, which were used to store wine. A wooden balustrade separates the loft from the ground floor. The wood in this room was carbonized due to the high temperatures reached during the eruption of Vesuvius. When Vesuvius erupted, the first pyroclastic surge of ash and hot gases billowed through Herculaneum at 160 kilometres per hour. The last inhabitants, waiting for rescue from the sea, were killed instantly by the heat, despite being sheltered from direct impact. Pyroclastic flows produced temperatures higher than in Pompeii, reaching 400 or 500 degrees Celsius. Wooden objects, for example this bed, were carbonized by the intense heat as a succession of pyroclastic flows and surges hit the city. Although many buildings remained almost intact during the eruption, the heat vaporized the flesh of the victims. During excavations, a large number of skeletons of men, women and children were found on the beach and in the boat chambers.